culture teaches us that being nice to others is very important. But what if I told you that being nice might actually be doing more harm than good? I want to explain to you why that is and suggest some things that we might be able to do instead. I'm Nicola, and for over 25 years, I've been exploring ways to break my patterns of pain and release my issues so I don't repeat the cycle. And I'd love to help you do the same. Be nice is a cry we often say. We say it to our kids when they're being mean to another child. Oh, be nice. We might say it to someone else when they criticise another person. Oh, be nice. We even use the word nice to describe another person. How was your day? Oh, he was nice. Or an event. How was the wedding? It was nice. Or even the weather. It's nice. Nice is such a bland word. It really doesn't say that much. But it also holds a dirty secret, because being nice is actually polite speak for don't rock the boat. Don't put yourself out there. Don't stand out. Don't take risks. Don't be honest. Don't be too anything. What we're really saying is don't do anything that could possibly upset someone else or create bad feelings. It's all about other people and avoiding upsetting other people. We're being nice to avoid those bad feelings. The trouble is, being nice stops us dealing with stuff. It prevents us from being honest, and it stops us from resolving things. We're too busy not upsetting everyone else by being nice. And as a result of being nice, we're hiding our true feelings. We end up people pleasing. The relationships that we develop end up being very superficial because we're only dealing with stuff at the surface level. We're not really getting underneath what's going on. And when we behave like that, we end up being taken for granted because we're not actually putting ourselves out there at all. We're just being very bland and very nice. And we also end up not having very good boundaries. And if you struggle with creating boundaries, I've got a step-by-step guide linked below that you might want to download to help with that. Being nice creates toxicity in our relationships. It creates resentment because things are not being talked about. It allows stuff to fester and become even more than it should have been. It could have been much smaller, but we let it go, and so it becomes bigger and bigger, all in the name of being nice. We're sacrificing honest communication and genuine connection in the name of peace and harmony, but it's a pretty steep price to pay. So why do we do this? For some people, they have a deep need for peace and harmony, and so it takes a priority above everything else. For other people, they're just ignoring their own needs. They're just putting everyone else's needs above theirs, and they're not thinking about what they need from the situation. For other people, it's a habit. They grew up just behaving this way and they've never questioned it, and so they're doing that. And for some people, like me, they're terrified of conflict. Comment below if this is you and the lengths that you've gone to avoid upsetting other people in the name of being nice. So what can we do instead? I'd like to suggest that we replace being nice with being kind. But what's the difference? Well, to me, being nice is, as we've discussed, not rocking the boat, not upsetting people, being very compliant. But kind, in contrast, is doing what's best for everyone. We think about the situation. We reflect about what's going on under the surface, about what everyone's needs are. We think about the options and the likely outcomes. We choose what's going to create the highest and best outcome possible for everyone involved, and we are as authentic as possible in this situation. And yes, sometimes this means being honest even when it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it will mean speaking up even when it's hard, and sometimes it may mean choosing to be seen as the bad guy because that's what's required in the situation. Making those difficult choices, doing the hard thing because it's actually what's best for everyone involved. Think about raising kids, for example. You can't sit back as a parent and just let your kids do whatever they like because you don't want to risk upsetting them. You can't be nice and actually raise healthy, well-balanced kids. You have to set boundaries. You have to enforce rules. You have to have limits so that they can learn what's appropriate and how to function effectively in the world. And to do this, you have to be willing for other people to get upset. And that can be really hard if you're, like me, really triggered by other people's negative reactions. And I've got a whole guide with my 10 favourite techniques for releasing issues that can help turn down the intensity on some of these reactions. But when we are triggered by other people's reactions and therefore are nice, instead of being kind, we're essentially doing the opposite of the right thing to protect ourselves. We're looking at our own needs saying, I can't deal with this reaction, so I'm going to do what I know isn't the right thing, but it's what I can deal with in this moment. And that can be really challenging. So how do we actually get better at being kind instead of being nice? Firstly, start to see it as a question of self-respect. If I make this choice now, will I look at myself tomorrow and respect myself for the choice I made? Can I live with the choices I'm making? Yes, in the moment, it might feel like the easiest thing to do, but is it the right thing to do? Can I live with this choice? What's going to make me respect myself as much as possible in this situation? You might also find journaling really helpful, writing out what's going on for you in this situation, what the issues are under the surface, what the options are, how everyone else involved is affected, and just help you get your thoughts straight around what's going on. You can also use affirmations, things like, I have the courage to speak up even when it's hard. I'm the kind of person who does the right thing even when it's challenging. I'm going to focus on being kind instead of being nice. And you can also practice setting those boundaries using that step-by-step guide that I mentioned, so that you can actually have less drama, build stronger relationships, be more connected. But in order to do that, you're going to have to learn how to communicate more effectively. And I've got a whole video on non-violent communication or compassionate communication that you might want to watch next. And I'll see you in the next one.